Good evening. A very late night broadcast. Very late night. I know it's a Tuesday morning. Many of you may have gone to bed, but as it is, we needed to. As it is, we needed to speak to this issue so that many who have reached out to me will know that we haven't forgotten. Why is my light not bright enough? Okay, we haven't forgotten about the issue. So, what is the issue of what is the issue of contention? It is about the Abuja land Rofo fight, yeah, Abuja land power show, where the minister of the FCT, that is Yeson Wike, had an altercation with a an army officer. In fact, I think many Nigerians, honestly, on the Twitter streets have commended the officer in question and praised him that he has been a very, very good officer. Maybe because many of you don't like Wike, that you are saying that. Some, on the other hand, are saying, well, it is only the president that can actually override Wike, while others are saying that it serves Wike right, that the man stood for himself, right? And there are other people, even his colleagues within the army. I'll play some voice note for us. His colleagues within the army have come out to say, no, 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 no. We actually support what he did. Now, the question that is bugging many Nigerians now, you can have your say if you want to join me. I can share the link. The question that is bugging many Nigerians now is what actually happened? Who was at fault? Is it Wike or the young military officer? Right? So before we do that, there is a video that not many of us have seen actually. That video is about the arrival of Wike. All we saw was the shouting march that went viral. But the arrival of the Minister of FCT is one video not many of you have. But trust us, because we do have sources, we can guarantee you that. I don't think many of you have seen this video. Let's watch how Wike arrived and see how the altercation started. You hear that saying that Wike don't come. Do you know, this is what Donald Trump will call Wike arrived gun ablaze. Gun ablazing. That's like Donald Trump. You can see with the people he came with, and you can hear him immediately saying, "Hey, you, stay there. Hey, you." So he was already giving order before the following happened. Pay attention. You want to kill everybody? Kill everybody. Sorry, I'm not. No. This is the minister here, please. What is the story? The story here is very simple. This land in Abuja is owned by a retired officer. Abuja Moniles, in form of the FCT land people, will come with their with police officers. So, and every time they come, they tell them to stop work. So at some point, the guy's thing, the guy thought to himself, he is a retired officer. He's now gone to, get some military guards, giving them instruction not to allow any police officer, anybody go in here. That was a standing order. The question is, does a military officer or a naval officer who is retired, who is no longer in service, does he have the right to tell a serving junior officer what to do? Those of you in the military ranking, you can help us. Many of you are then arguing it was not the military officer, the retired dad, who gave order, that he sought order from a serving high ranking officer, right? But the point here is, why would Wike then act in the manner that he did? Keep watching. It was an ego drive. The minister was clearly heard saying, I am the minister. He started, some of you are making jokes and saying that Wike was introducing himself, even when everybody knew him. He was introducing himself, I am the minister. Nobody's dragging the ministerialship with you. But what is then worrying is the next phase of the video that you will see So sorry about that, the break in transmission. So in the next video that we are going to be looking at, you will now see where the proper altercation, and I must say, irrespective of which side of the divide you tend to stand, I believe that the officer was actually um, very, very respectful. He stood his ground and had the following to say. So Wike is saying that the man took this land and he was not going to allow it because he was former chief of naval staff. So he was not going to allow it. The army officer is telling him, we have submitted, probably relaying the information he was told, that the documents to this land was all already submitted. Listen.
And I you to carry land. Sir, everything was acquired legally.
So, and the guy is telling him, everything, sir, everything was acquired legally. Wike said, and he began to carry land. So, in this case, nobody they carry land, Oga.
And I you to carry land. Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Now, at this point, you can see look at this. What I've watched from frame, from frame to frame is a question of someone who thinks I am higher than you. You can't talk when I'm talking. Shut up. That's what Wike was doing. The guy said everything was acquired legally. Wike gets offended.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Now, will you do what?
Will you
stop that?
Stop that. I'm an officer, I have integrity. Shut up.
At this point, the guy poked in the words of Museveni, he poked the anus of the lion, saying, I have integrity. Maybe, I don't know whether the young man is implying, okay, I have integrity, you don't. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. But at this point, we can now get proper angry.
Shut up. Will you get up? Sir, I won't shut up. Sir, I was in school. You're not in school. Sir, you can't shut me up. Will you keep quiet?
So, and he started saying, while I was in school, some will say at this point he's submitting his CV. He's railing out when he was in school. While he was in school, maybe you are not born or we are not in kindergarten. Obviously, the young man is a very respectful young man who understands the military hierarchy of when order is given and to say, I'm sorry, sir, we are not going to do this. But the minister wasn't having it.
Get the food. I'm not.
Now, at this point, he's angered the military guy because he said, aren't you a big fool? The guy said, no, okay, I am not a fool, sir. So that's why you have seen a lot of meme coming out now. So for those of you who may have seen the meme where we have posted it, the meme is as a result of this conversation here. I am not a big fool. I am not a fool. You are a fool. I am not a fool. You are a fool. I am not a fool. In the words of Fela, you hear something like this. Argument about stealing. When somebody, you know that song?
The food. I'm not a fool. You can shoot anybody like that. Sir, I'm not a fool. I am not a fool, sir. And for the time I graduated, you are primary school. I'm acting on order. For which order? You see whether you love me. Sir, you can't call me a fool. I'm an officer. I'm not a fool, sir.
I think I like this. I am an officer of the Nigerian army, trained with Nigerian money. A very intelligent one at that, I think Yarima is his name. Very intelligent officer, very smart dressed officer. If you see something like this, to myself, to join army, could they hungry some people, right? At this point, the young man defeated Wike 1-0.
You will have killed everybody. No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders. God develop.
Go and develop the other thing.
Regular outside, don't come and complain.
We are going to now get out. Go.
I'm not just seeing what you're recording. Hello, sir.
Okay. On being cautious and being respectful, the young man scored Wike 1-0. But on being, really giving the young man back to back, Wike scored 3-0 because he called him, "You are a fool, you're a big fool," and he said, "Get out." So that is 3-0. In fact, 3-1, because the young man was equalizing with good behavior, right? He said, "Get out." He said, "Sir, I'm not getting out, but I'm telling you what I'm telling you." So in essence here, what it means is that the young man stood his ground. Finish, the proper altercation now happened, right? The proper altercation because Wike eventually, he didn't leave when everybody thought he left. He now came back to call the chief of army staff because the guy stood his ground. He wasn't going to have it, and Wike came back to now say, "Okay, let me call your Oga. Let us call and speak to your Oga at the top, and let's hear what they now have to say." Listen carefully.
Will you keep quiet? Give me a big food. You are a big food. This country cannot continue along this line.
My friend, you see,
I have no document. Bring the document.
I have documents and everything.
Excuse me. I'm a minister. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that. We cannot continue to add in this impurity. Where the approval even to keep. You cannot continue this way. This country cannot continue along this line. How can that man at his level, even if he has a problem, he cannot reach me and say, "Look, I'm sorry. See what I have." You will send soldiers to intimidate who? We are all from this country. And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying guns to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if not government was the first staff who spoke to me here, you could have killed everybody here. No problem. I'm not one of those that they can intimidate.
On the contrary,
I'm doing my job.
We are not intimidating anybody.
That's what you're doing.
The civilian, the engineer mobilized to site, and then staff or workers of SED look at the
No, listen now.
That is threatening them. And that was when the admiral gave the order.
He cannot give order against government.
Because the papers are complete, and he said he submitted them.
Listen, you don't the police one. Are you the one that will say paper? What will show me that you are good? First of all, show me that government gave you this. Show me that you have. To build what you are building, it has nothing to do with.
No, we have it's okay, it's okay. From demolition is not
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
that's
matter.
all that matters. I'm an offside, take to order.
So what? You had a who than me.
I'm an offside, take to order.
To order that you take illegal order.
Mr. General.
Okay.
Can't say no. That means
You can never develop this property. I will not allow it.
no problem, sir.
You
I'm only acting on my
if
orders.
you want to
as
kill
an
everybody,
officer.
kill everybody.
We will not kill
You
anybody,
cannot.
sir. We will not kill anybody, sir.
You put yourself in trouble.
We will not.
You
My
understand?
friend, you see. What is that? You cannot shut me up. No, you cannot shut me up. You are my junior. You cannot even talk when I'm talking. You cannot shut me up.
Okay, now at this point they are talking about ranks. One of the guy on Asiwaji cap started speaking to him, and he said, "You're my junior. You can't even talk when I'm talking." The bottom line here is, Wike now called chief of. You see, he's on the phone now. He called the chief of defense staff, this CDS, and the CDS was on the phone, gave the military guy the phone to explain to him what is happening, and the guy did a fantastic job. They kept their cool, you know. They kept their cool, and things kind of went normal. However, some military officers are not happy. Some of them are not happy. Let me play one of the voice note one of them dropped, because this thing really is getting them angry. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear that.
Say some of us, with all due respect to everybody in the house, most
You
of
can
us
hear
that
that,
served
right?
those days, we know all this kind of altercation with civilians, we know what it will have cost. But we thank God for somebody like Obasanjo, who spent a lot of money reforming military, to subject themselves to rule of law and be subjugated under civil dispensation and others. You understand? And the provocation is getting too much. Okay, look at the way he's talking to that boy. The same wicked that is telling us to our face after using our commonwealth to sponsor his children to Dubai, to be following him up and down. Nobody is talking. This army man that is boasting on television saying he has a Rolls Royce, a daft, a drunk. You are challenging a gazetted officer, insulting him in public like that, and telling him that he's a fool, he's a big fool. See, I swear to my almighty God, wallahi talahi billahi lazi, Allah, me and not mind, may they dismiss me for that service. If not me be that officer, I will first order my boys, may they disarm those police and those SSS where they misbehave here. So may they first disarm everybody first. May the television I make it look, then I will now talk to Wike the way I want to talk to him. Anything we want to happen, make it happen. But I thank God, and I'm very proud of the officer based on the training we got. You understand? This one is even more refined, more than the other captain in Anambra that the deputy governor put him and started questioning him anyhow for doing a lawful duty. These animals, they don't understand the pains. Last time I was in 44 Barrack, a coursemate, somebody we did purchasing and supply together in School of Honors, 2021, David Elewa. He has his hand amputated. He was there. I went to go and see him with other people with limbs, different kind of problem. Look at new fresh graveyard open all over the whole place. See, these bastards, these guys. Let me just moderate my words, because the thing just infects me. They don't understand the pains a soldier take. You came to that very place. Okay, if Wike is not petty and very stupid and myopic and daft, what is the measurement of that land? This one now, you're not talking of hectare. That land cannot be more than maybe 100 by 100 into two, maybe like 2 plots. But you want to prove a point. Is that how to prove a point? By calling a gazetted officer a big fool? Eh? What about that day we carry children and then somebody go hold one of them for court, say, where are you going? And insult him that you're a big fool for carrying these children. What will he say? In fact, that officer, Allah, if to say I know where he is, or I know I for use my last maybe 5,000 naira, send recharge card to your phone. You really make everybody proud. You make on the training where all of us get. These civilians, they are the ones that need to. Who is Wike when majors were doing governor? Who is he? When major were doing governor, military administrator those days, who is Wike? This a real definition of a power drunk somebody. The thing just provoke my mind this evening. I swear, the thing just invest me. And this useless Jide Otutoju for TVC is just talking rubbish here. And they watch and they tell me to say, they tell us to say, soldiers, blah blah blah. I don't blame them. We should blame our system itself that is deploying all those kind of wrong deployments. The earlier, the better. Let me leave it because of the way we are here. Let me just leave the topic. The thing just defends me. I'm just pissed off.
Okay. So this is an army officer, a fellow army officer in one of the forums. They're already reacting. Now, but he said something in this video, in this audio. If it's not about this illegal deployment, in as much as many of you are angry with Wike, but let's not lose sight of one thing, was the deployment of soldiers to go and stop the harassment of Abuja FCDA staff members. Was it legal? Can we fight illegality with illegality? If the deployment was illegal, is the deployment of the staff of the Abuja municipality, those that go and check the land, are they also engaging in legal operations? Sometimes when you are building, if you have built, you will know that sometimes, especially, I wouldn't say the state in the southeast before they come after me. There are places when you want to build, they will tell you, oh, you have to pay XYZ amount. Sometimes you pay them up to 5 million. The day you will receive the receipt, you will see 500,000. Yeah, it does happen. It happens in Abuja as well. So is it a case of power show? Abuja land power show. Wike, the prime minister of Abuja, Tinubu calls him the first son, or the Abuja first son, the landlord of Abuja. Larry, any one of you who subscribes while we're online, Larry, that clap is we cheer for you for joining us on the live stream. We cheer up to you, right? Those of you who are watching us, if you haven't subscribed, please click that like button so that we can clap for you. It's this young man that has generated this level of controversy and conversation. The question is, do you think that both sides were wrong? If you ask me, I think, for us to get things right, while I commend the officer for sticking to his duty professionally, but the deployment to that post seems illegal. Do you agree with me that the deployment to go and guard the property of a retired naval chief, it was nothing but a camaraderie job? Oh, you are now, I've scratched your back when I was the head. Now I'm no longer the head. You guys come, send your boys, let them come and protect me. these guys, when they come, do not grant them access. Probably those that have gone and seen soldiers now go back to the office and say, Oga Wike, Amideo, that plot of land will never pay correct money. Amideo. Or, as some people have been accusing Wike, that some of the lands that they have taken, were reallocated to people close to him. Some say cronies. But in this one, story has it that the land isn't that much, but probably because I think it's in Central District, because you can see that those story buildings, high-rise buildings, that is there. If I'm not mistaken, that's where I think that land is. So it's in a choice area. Obviously, it's not only about doing the right thing. When an empty land is in a very choice area, government, they know they carry ICM. Everybody is like, seeing a very populistic young girl, and all of them are now looking at that. That's what I think, right? Let me take your comment. Why is it illegal? Are you a okay? Um, the why I think the operation is illegal is the military have nothing to do but to protect our territorial integrity. I have said this many times. Military have a singular job to do, to protect Nigerian borders, to protect our territorial integrity that Donald Trump cannot, you know, just come in overnight. But importing, or, I put it this way, the incursion of the military in the civilian space leads into crisis. The incursion of the military in a civilian space. In this case, why many have considered the act illegal is, if you think something is happening, that you're being obstructed illegally where you're working, what you should do is go and report to the police. The police will give you men in order to come and stop them. But no, they used the military. The military had no right to go into civilian space. But again, it's Nigeria. Nigeria is, whenever you are a general, you are a commodore, whatever you are, you never retire and you never tire, because you can always go and get boys. I recall then when we used to live in Okota in Lagos, there is this guy, whenever you come there, you see about 4 or 5 army carrying gun. They say he was a retired colonel or whatever. But you see men mounting guard in his house. Once upon a time, near the Sele area, the armed robbers at night, swam across the Sele Ijeshaba Odolowu Canal and came into the other side of Okota. Near where these guys are, they didn't lift a finger. These guys were shooting, but they didn't do anything. They didn't. So they didn't leave their duty post. If they are good Samaritans, probably they should have gone and done something. That officer is my man of the year. I agree with you. Okago TV. I agree with you that this young man, in fact, if you go online now, you have a lot of memes with him, because honestly, I am impressed by his consistency, and that is it. The way he maintained his school, telling Wike, I am not a fool, sir. And that it's kind of if you have watched the officer and the gentleman. Look, one of the pictures that has really, really gone viral is this. Look at it. He looked Wike in the eye and said to him, I am not a fool, sir. Wike will say, you are a fool. Well, you are not yet born. When I was in the university, blah, blah. I am not, sir. So it's a case of somebody is throwing you lemon, trying to hurt you with lemon. You're squeezing it, adding ice and sugar, yanking off lemonade out of the lime that you've been thrown at. It is not his duty. When I talk about legality, nothing concerns the officer with legality. If we want to talk about legality, it has to be with his boss. But as long as he stands there as a military officer, he has only one thing, the orders given to him. Now, those who also know better, that that know probably better the way things work, have said that in the hierarchy of order, that actually Wike has, as a minister and as the landlord of Abuja, has is ranked high more than the chief of the defense staff that eventually, brought peace. Because after they spoke to the chief of defense staff, that's when nerves calmed down and everybody began to, calm down. Now, let's take some comments of Nigerians regarding this young man. As I tell you, today on the internet space, he is the hero that Nigerians have been really praising today, right? The hero that many Nigerians are saying. I will take some comments. Let's look at what Nigerians across the internet space are also saying about him. Okay, let's quickly do that. You will see the meme. One of the meme that I like so much is this one, right? Where in this meme here, you can see that you are a fool. I'm not a fool, sir. And you can see the height. Nigerians are not going to kill me. You see the height. The height reflected what everybody saw. And afterwards, Wike, as usual, gave press conference. Let's listen.
I don't understand how somebody who attained that position and see that he has a problem cannot approach my office to say, look, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. Or simply because he's a military man, he could use that to intimidate Nigerians. I'm not one of those kind of persons that will succumb to blackmail or intimidation. And you can imagine where you cannot even prove where are the documents. And the director of the Bureau control is there. I said, look, I was there. I said, bring the documents. You don't have the documents. Bring the approval for building. You don't have it. And how can we continue to allow lawlessness to prevail in this country? What about those who don't have the military? What about those who don't have security? It has gotten to a level where when government officials are carrying out their job, you go and bring security to intimidate them. And these government officials, I will not accept that.
So Wike is telling us that he's not going to accept that because he considers it that the man was using that in kind of form. Okay, so let's take some comment of Nigerians. Triple C says, men like this deserve honor. To every officer of the Nigerian armed forces, stand for what is right, just as he did. A better Nigeria is built when those in uniform defend the law, not personalities. May his bravery inspire many more. Now, praises to Nigeria. You can see him. Some people are turning his picture into black and white. Some memes are trending, and I made it. I made a post on Facebook. I'm saying I'll be shocked that after 48 hours, after 24 hours, if Nigerians haven't used cut that place, I'm a fool, you're not a fool, to use it to do some sort of like a song or anything, then I'll be really, really be disappointed, right? I'll be really, um, I'll be really be disappointed if they. So let's take more. It says, can Wike or his son die for this country under any circumstances? But that young chap has already signed up to die for this country under whatever circumstances. And Wike there call him a fool. Wike is taking his madness, stupidity, rascality too far. Now, honestly, it's very hard to see anybody who, any Nigerian who does not agree with that young man. The only people you will see that disagree with the young man are those whom, when they stand up, you put your hand in their pocket, you must see remnant of corn in their pocket, in form of normal corn, GMO corn, or cornflakes. But there must be something connecting them to corn. That's people that I have seen, like Larry. Is it Larry or Larry that has written an epistle saying why the young man was wrong? You can read every sentence of what he wrote. It's laced with, political paymaster job sort of writing. Now, mine here, Fortune says, I'll be talking, and policemen will be talking. I'll be talking. At that young man, at some point, when he was telling the guy on Asiwaju Cap, he said, "I am higher than you in rank, and I'll be talking." A policeman will be talking. The guy says, "Yeah, this one paid that general. I swear, he wishes they can't just release the policeman for an hour." Oh Lord, my father house. I love what the general did. He stood on order. No, it's not a general. I mean, that young man is not a general. He will be in trouble if he allowed Wike in, of course, because you are given an order to go by your boss, not the retired one, right? Nigerian Army, look at Wike calling a whole Nigerian gallant army officer a fool. This is so embarrassing. We are watching you all. Wike must apologize to Nigerian Army openly for calling our army personnel. Ayana, you go collect the you go collect the this. You guys are really, really. Let's listen to this.
How many times did I call you? 3 times. You dey field, they follow military man drag. Those boys, then the vessel. This is not This is you are not in your ministry. Oh. These are military men. They are chain of command. They are not responsible to your instruction. Oh. If you go to a place and you discover that they are doing what you do not like, go and meet their superior. These boys, they might handle you. Even at the attempt of touching you, your spirit go come out first before your body tell you. You are on the field dragging with a military man that's under instruction. You don't know wetin they do you. Those boys dey vex. So you see say the guy gallant with you. He will give it to you woto. All the police, the DSS wey dey around you, they will disarm them. Be careful, guys dey vex. If you have issue, like I said, go to their command, go and meet their oga. Na their oga you go follow talk. No be those boys wey be say blood they do. You can't intimidate a Nigerian military person. Get that details. You dey talk say when you dey university, the boy never finish school. You wey be say you never do anything in your life outside of politics. Idiot.
Uh, uh, okay, so I have a guest here. Diokba, good evening, sir.
Engineer himself, how are you?
I'm all right, sir. How you doing?
The show of shame that happened today can only happen in Nigeria, where a supposed minister of the Federal Republic can descend so low as to go ruffle. Did he have to go there himself? It shows you the decadence in our society. In a civilized society, that man cannot be a gate man, let alone being a minister. He's lucky he met a very civilized officer and a gentleman. That young man, the soldier, deserves commendation. He deserves medal, and Nigerians should be proud of him. Wike was getting to the gutter, and the guy tried to lift him out, but he refused to come out of the gutter. It's a sad day for Nigeria. That man I wonder what hold he has on Tinubu. That man does not deserve to be a minister in this country. He's uncouth, mannerless, totally devoid of character. I'm ashamed to call him a minister of the country that I belong to. Truly. He does not deserve to be a minister in this country.
Anyway, there is this story here. Let me quickly share this story that is on the screen where it says Wike confrontation. I'll push this up. That's from Zagazola, the guy that reports on, most of this report is on insurgents, the Boko Haram. He's just a Boko Haram insider anyway. Now, he published something here which reads, Wike's confrontation with military officer undermines authority of Commander-in-Chief, Buratai. So basically, the former, Army Chief Buratai has written, says, a former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Toko Buratai, retired, has faulted the alleged verbal altercation between the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, and a uniformed military officer in Abuja, describing it as a threat to national security and institutional integrity. In a statement issued on Tuesday, that is today, Buratai said that incident, which reportedly occurred on the 11th of November, that is today, amounted to undermining the authority of the commander-in-chief and could negatively affect military morale. He said that the public confrontation or disparagement of a serving officer in uniform by a political office holder was an act capable of weakening the chain of command and could set a wrong precedent for military relations.
Absolutely.
A minister's verbal assault on the military officer is an act of profound indiscipline that strikes at the core of our nation's command and control structure. It undermines constituted authority and threatens national order, Buratai said. He added that the armed forces of Nigeria operate strictly on hierarchy, respect for uniform, and established channel of communication, noting that any action that weakens those values could compromise national security. The former army chief said that the alleged incident could not be dismissed as political theatric, stating that the uniform represents the authority of the Nigerian state and the sacrifice of men and women serving the country. Buratai called on Wike to issue an immediate and unequivocal public apology to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the commander-in-chief, to the armed forces, and to the affected officers. Our nation's security must also come first. The integrity of our armed forces demand nothing less, he added. At the time of filing the report, there has not been official reaction. I mean, there's been an official reaction where Wike, granted interview as usual. And I do not think that this is going to end here. I foresee where Wike will go and call Arise TV, Channels TV, all of them, sit them down for an hour and a half and rant about this. This is not the end. Rather than toe the line that Buratai has said he wasn't going to. I like this picture because this picture says how the young man was just looking at him from the top, Buhari will, in the words of Buhari will tell us from top to bottom. Yeah. Buhari will tell us this is from top to bottom, as we normally have it.
ABC Nigeria from top to bottom. Top to bottom.
So that's basically our top to bottom. Obueshi, now, do you agree with Tuka Buratai?
It made a lot of sense, yes.
You don't you think that he's maybe trying to protect himself because he may be also, since he's retired?
No. There's no protection there, Mazi. The political, that tells you the political class we have in Nigeria, gutter politicians. Wike has just exemplified the characters we have in politics. Agberos, no class. I mean, Buratai is right. In as much as I don't care about Buratai and his machinations as the chief of army staff, he said what is correct. Quite frankly, would you hire Wike as a messenger in your office? I won't, because his image is zero.
Unless you
he has
have
no character, he has no originality, no personality.
Unless you have some 40 years stuff in the office,
Yeah, maybe the man is always on alcohol. Maybe that's why. That's perhaps the only reason why I can grant him that kind of behavior. Who cares when you went to school? Who cares when you graduated? Does it matter? And the man can't even speak properly. Continue. Is that how to pronounce continue? He's a fool.
And I was laughing because there was no refinement in communication. I think
At all.
one of the things he should also do is attend some courses in public communication.
Absolutely. You just hit the nail on the head, Mazi.
Because the young man was respectful enough. There was no need for that level of altercation. There was no need for that level of gutter. And you see, when people argue that when you get into some level of argument and there is nothing to pull out, you pull out only the debts out there, And in this case, that those foul languages, calling the young man unprovoked, just calling him a fool.
And the man kept telling you he's not a fool. Yeah, Mazi, Wike is a pig. Brush a pig, wash a pig, always a pig.
Trust Nigeria.
The man can never be refined. No amount of tutoring will refine him.
Trust Nigeria. If the guy's account number drop now, you will see us Nigerians will be blessing him.
I guess you're right. He's just a wonderful man.
No,
a man I'll be proud to have as a son. Really,
yeah, he's a refined gentleman. I mean,
he exemplified what the Nigerian army should be: a fine officer and a gentleman.
Exactly.
He lectured Wike on manners. I wonder what Wike's children will be feeling, seeing their father behave like a buffoon every time.
Well,
yeah, you are right. He will go and call all those media men and give them some money, and they'll talk rubbish. And he's not the only minister. Why should he have press release every time? Money talks, BS works.
Exactly.
Because we give him audience. We give people like him audience.
Well, it's not about nobody gives him audience. He buys the audience, and this is the young man here, right? He just connects and basically pay. So you can see the young man here. He's somewhat. I think he was trained very well. Truth be told, not so many officers can actually withstand what he did.
The guy is a fine officer, man. He's a fine officer.
Many.
A fine officer and a gentleman.
Do you know that many officers, the madam that they carry bags for, slap them?
That's correct.
Talk to them anyhow.
That's correct.
They do nothing. But here, he didn't care whether it was a minister.
Wike provoked that young man to no end. The young officer was provoked to no end. I was worried that he might react.
Okay, Obuefi, thank you very much. That's where we'll bring this to an end. Please, Obuefi, I will be sharing on, to our viewers, if you are going to join us on Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, 1 p.m. Washington, and 6 p.m. United Kingdom, we'll be having a global town hall on the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular interest by Trump. Then this will be with those who saw what happened, or rather the victims, the leadership of the victims, right? This is going to be one in town. We will be having individuals like we'll be having individuals like Professor Yusuf Turaki, Mayor Mike Arnold, the one that really kick started all these social media with the invitation of Reno Omokri and Nuhu Ribadu. He will be joining us, and we'll have Engineer Mike Lipton, Reverend Dr. Ishaku Kabong, and Dr. Bolaji O. Akinyemi, and your brother, Dr. Tony Nwezigwe, the one who has researched genocide from A to Z. You understand what I mean?
Very interesting.
It's going to be an interesting conversation on Friday. I will be moderating the session, not yet confirmed, but likely that Reverend, or rather Prophet Issa Elbuba may also be joining us if he confirms by tonight or by tomorrow. So many of you watching us, keep a date with us on Friday. There's not going to be a hangout by myself. Our hangout is to discuss Nigeria, the way forward, based on the Christian genocide as as it were. Thank you very much, Oboishi. Thank you for joining me. Good night.
God bless you, Marvin.
Good night from this side. Thank you.
Good night.